Hey everybody, today I'm talking to you about the quickest way to improve your golf game so that you hit better shots next time out on the golf course. And I love to get right into it and show you the simplicity of this simple setup for impact golf swing that I'm teaching and having great success with. So we're going to get right into it with my first most important point at how to improve your golf game is to simplify the swing and simplify making impact. And I think a lot of people get caught in with what's comfortable in the swing. So if I'm setting up, if I'm going to hit a shot this way, if I'm getting set up, it might be comfortable to set up this way. And this is how you see most tour players setting up. But in fact, at impact, we're always going to have the club come into alignment here with the arm. So it's going to go from here to here. If you don't believe me, just grab a golf club. So hold a golf club like this, like you'd normally set up, and notice the angle between your arms and the club shaft. And then I want you to try to make a swing here. Keep that angle the same through impact, and you'll see that the club wants to extend and come into alignment with the arms. And what's really happening is the wrists are coming into a position that's called ulnar deviation or uncocked. And so you just simply do this. This is where you're going to be at impact. And so setting up with that at an angle means you're going to have to compensate for that. And at setup, what's happening, the club head's moving about 4 inches farther away from where you were at setup. And so we need to set up for impact, and it's really very simple. You don't need new golf clubs. You can use the same clubs you're using, keep the same distance from the ball, and simply what we're going to do at setup is simply raise the hands up so that we can do this. I want you to raise the hands up, and so that you're in alignment with the trailing arm here. And I even want the trailing arm a little bit bent in towards the hip. So what we're doing actually is putting the arm in a non-rotational position where the arm's not going to have to rotate or pronate in order to square the club face. And so we're just going to have the arm in a position where now all I need to do is take the club back and back through impact on one single plane, back and through. So it's a single plane back and through, and all I have to do to hit the shot is turn back and turn through. And it's very easy to hit good straight golf shots. So check out the setup. You'll find more on my channel here talking about exactly how to set up and how to learn this swing, but it's very simple, very easy to get started. In my over 30 years of teaching, it's by far the easiest way that you could ever set up and hit a golf shot. Hey, while you're here, please hit the subscribe button below to get notified as new videos are released. Hit the bell to accept notifications, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. The second point that I'm going to make with you today, really, really critical, and it'll help any of you, even if you don't follow the first step. If your balls are curving, tending to go left and right, we need to find a position for the hands on the club that are going to automatically have the club face square through the impact area. And so we really need to see if the ball is slicing and you tend to hit some high, weaker shots with your irons, we need to move the hands to what's known as a stronger position. So that means rotating the hands a little bit away from target. So the lead hand would have the thumb a little bit more back of target. This would be a stronger lead hand position, and it would tend to aid you in closing the club face through impact. And so this is very important. Write this down for when next time you go out on the golf course. Save this video so that you could come back and say, I was slicing the ball today. What we need to do if we were slicing the ball is rotate the hand this way. You'll see more of the watch, more of the back of the hand from this angle. And that's putting you in a position that's going to get rid of the slice. If you go too far with it, you'll tend to hook the ball, and the ball will curve to the left. If you're hooking the ball too much, a couple of things we have to look at. You could be in too strong of a position here, in which case we'd do the opposite of what we just did. Or your hands are releasing the club too early, which is closing the club face. And that's going to be our third point. But first, talk about the trailing hand. The trailing hand gets stronger as we go underneath, and that too can be causing shots to the left. So simply neutralizing that, where the palm of the hand's more towards the target, will help you get rid of hooking the ball. So it's something you have to mess around with both. As part of my learning program on the website, I take you step by step how to customize this simple concept to fit your own needs and to help you, with the goal being to give you the fastest improvement possible. And that's my goal. I want you to improve now. Stand up and grab a golf club and start moving the club from this setup position where we're set up for impact. We're going to just turn back and through, and then looking at the club face. When you do that, if you do it at waist high, look at the club face. Is it square? If it is, your hands are probably oriented properly to the golf club for you. If it's not, if it's coming through like a lot of people, it's coming through and the club face is open, in which case let's rotate the club to square and then do it again. And we should find the position where the club face is square through the impact area. So customizing the grip is really important, customizing the setup, and that's what I guide people to do in my program. The third point, learn to focus on impact and making great impact instead of spending countless hours and a lot of time working on how to make a backswing or a certain position you're trying to get in the backswing or downswing. Focus on impact. Impact is really the most important part of any swing, and I'm sure you've noticed on tour that there's all kinds of different backswing positions that many instructors would consider wrong, like John Rahm or Dustin Johnson, Jim Furyk, to name a few. But there's so many different positions there. In the PGA Tour players' swings, there's more differences than there are alike. And what's the same for every one of them is how they move the club through impact. And from my experience, that's what helps people play their best golf, is focus on moving the golf club properly through impact. And it's really not that difficult once you understand what we want and how to do it. So we really need to get this grip leading the club head through impact, because when we have the grip leading, it helps keep the club face from rotating early. So you'll see if you pick up a club now and move the club with the grip leading, you'll notice that the club face stays pretty square until the club head passes the hands. Then there's a lot of rotation. We want that rotation happening up in here, as opposed to, for most people, that rotation is happening in here. The second point with the hands leading is, as long as we're turning through the shot, we're able to create a shallow approach and a nice flat spot here through impact. So the club is coming along and just scraping the ground through towards the target. So it eliminates fat and thin and top shots. And so really important to understand, we need the square face is most important. We need that shallow flat spot through impact. It also gives us a straight path through impact. You move the club over a line or another club on the floor, keep the hands leading, and notice how straight the path can be there for a few inches past and through the ball. So straight path, very important. Also, fourth point, to hit the center of the club face, tilt the grip forward, and you'll see the ball is now in the center of the club face. If we hit the ball like this, the contact is very low on the club face. So to hit the center of the face, we also need that grip leading. And the fifth and final point is to increase our club head speed and hit the ball farther. We need the grip leading through impact, and we need the body rotating. And what it does, this creates what's known as parametric acceleration. Instead of just moving the club like a pendulum, if I need to speed this club up, I can't do anything. If I'm moving laterally, I can't really speed it up. But if I pull up here, you'll notice the club all of a sudden it goes around. If I pull up as it's swinging, pull up, that's also creating this flat spot and lack of rotation, but it's also creating speed. And so the way it works in the golf swing is, as I'm rotating through, the leading shoulder and leading leg are going to be both moving in a position to aid the grip moving up through impact. So this is opening the hips, which is helping the upper torso open, which is moving the leading shoulder up as the club is releasing, which is going to help us create more club head speed. So if we put it all together, I'm looking here at my setup here, getting the lead hand in a position. My wrists are in an uncocked position, and then I'll get set up. And so I'll focus then when I'm playing. I'm not going to be thinking about all of that with the hands, but I'm trying to create here contact with the ground starting at the ball and past. And so I'll look like this, and I'm really focused on that area here, impact. I'm trying to get set up for that impact so that I feel like I'm the right distance from the ball. That feels pretty good. And when it feels good, then I'll just go up to the ball and repeat it. I hit a perfect golf shot. Let me know how you're doing. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the box below. Visit my website, setupforimpact.com. Visit me at one of my golf schools around the country, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.